Welcome to another edition of Thunderdome. This is 6.6. Sources of American laws. Right now, some of you might be confused. Why is he not in class? Why? You worry about yourself. All right. So, think about this. What would it be like to live in the United States if there were no laws? You don't have to think long to figure out that it would be horrific. Okay? Anarchy is what we're talking about there. And if we experienced anarchy, you wouldn't like it. You would feel not safe. So, what makes a good law and why? I don't think a lot of people think about this, until civics class, but what makes a good law and why? Those are the things that we're going to go over, and then we're going to see the sources of American law, which is based upon the United States Constitution. So here we go. Good laws. So pay attention here for question number one. For us, our definition is the set of rules that allow people to live peacefully. They use punishments as deterrents. So punishments being something that you want to decrease the likelihood of a behavior happening again. And if you have certain laws and punishments that go along with those laws, you might deter people from ever committing the crime. Does that work? Almost all the time, yes. Okay? But there are instances where it does not. 4 characteristics of good laws: they must be fair, so they must treat everyone equally. Thank you, 14th Amendment. They must be reasonable. Okay, so reasonable. Punishment must fit the crime. Thank you, 8th Amendment. They must be understandable. Ordinary people must be able to know what the law is. Legalese, law speak, is difficult to understand. But, they're, at one point, the not-so-educated people couldn't really understand the law. But now we've gotten to a point where everybody's educated enough to where they can. And then number 4, enforceable by the justice system. So in that, just know that one of these things in your options of question 1 is not a characteristic of a good law. All right. Sources of our laws for the United States. So we've come a long way. So things that have actually influenced lawmaking and where we've come to today. So we have the Code of Hammurabi, so 1760 BC. First known system of written laws. They were harsh, reciprocal punishment. So an eye for an eye. Steal an apple, get your hand cut off. Okay, those types of things. And then we have the 10 Commandments, which is religious laws, but obviously a lot of people know of these. But list of moral and religious laws, so thou shalt not steal, covet, kill, still things that we use today, but again, antiquated, right? Antique, from a past time. So now we have Roman law. 450 BC. Again, you'll see this theme throughout these first sets of laws, that everything was very harsh. So harsh penalties. Roman Senate wrote thousands of laws, so this is the time where, we actually have people who represent other people creating laws, so legislature. So Roman Senate wrote thousands of laws, judges wrote commentaries, and edicts were commands, or what they would call laws. And then we have Justinian Code.
I appreciate your goals.
533 AD, so after we started our calendar over again. Justinian, the first ruler of the Byzantine Empire, compiled many Roman laws into an orderly body of rules. It's the basis for the Napoleonic Code. So again, we're moving towards written laws, sustainable laws over time, and these first sets of laws again were harsh, and you see this very clearly in draconian law. So ancient Greek law code, disproportionate punishments to the crime committed. Death was the punishment for most crimes. Even stealing an apple, you would die. This was meant to stop rebellions, but it didn't work. It was too harsh, okay, too punitive. So that right there is question number 3. All right, we'll see number 4 here. English law is the most important source of our laws because it is where we came from. All right, if you know anything about history, you know that the United States was basically a part of England, right? That was our mother country for a long time, and we took from what they had established, and we still use it today. So, the Magna Carta, 1215 AD, limited the power of the king. It created this thing called rule of law. Rule of law is no one is above the law. No one, not even the president. This would basically be saying, if Donald Trump, President of the United States right now, jumps in a car, gets a speeding ticket, gets pulled over, that he couldn't get out of the speeding ticket. But we'll see about that. It might not actually happen, So, guaranteed certain legal and political rights to all English subjects, so equal protection under the law, freedom of speech, habeas corpus. You must produce the body. This is, honestly, having a fair trial, having evidence. So the Magna Carta was pretty cool. It, again, limited the power of the king, and that is what you really have to take away from the Magna Carta. That is, it's one thing that it really stopped, and it gave a little bit more power to Parliament, which in turn really gives more power to the people. So that was question number 4. Let's look at question number 5 here. The English Bill of Rights. If, again, you've paid attention in my class, you've understood that the Constitution has a thing called the Bill of Rights in it. It is the first 10 amendments. Wow. Now, where do we get this idea from? Right here. English Bill of Rights, 1689, originally meant to clarify the relationship between Parliament and the English monarch, but it protected certain rights of English citizens, so it gave us fair trial. It eliminated cruel and unusual punishments. Again, 2 things that are clearly stated in our Bill of Rights are clearly stated in the English Bill of Rights. English common law.
I appreciate your boldness.
Going back a little bit here, but it's a law based on court decisions rather than written legal code. So any precedent that happened, right? A precedent is a prior ruling of the court. And it was all, every decision made by the court, punishment, anything like that, settlement, whatever it was, had to be referenced by a prior court case. And that was what English common law really was. So it creates precedents for other judges to follow. We have a trial by jury, presumption of innocence, all of these things that we still use today. Remember, we are innocent until proven guilty, unless it's released to the media. Here we have the Iroquois Nation Constitution. So in this, the Iroquois, a Native American tribe, located northeast, northeast of the United States. Separation of powers, okay, created a great peacemaker, which is what we can attribute to the President of the United States. They just called this person the Great Peacemaker. And then delegates meet in the council, meaning that they had people representing other people. All things that we use in today's government. So it influenced the United States Constitution greatly. So that's question number 6. We have a social contract, 1651, created by Thomas Hobbes, John Locke, and Jean Rousseau, whatever you want to call him. So what is a social contract? Is it an actual piece of paper that people sign? No, it's not. It is, you are born a citizen of the United States and you have signed this contract by being born here. If you're a citizen,
I appreciate your boldness.
you are a part of the social contract. You have given up some of your rights in return for protection and maintaining an orderly society. So, this is perfect down here. Why should I obey the law as part of the social contract? I didn't sign any social contract. Nobody ever knows about this, until you learn about it. You're like, oh man, so I do give up some of my rights to be protected in this nation. And it's so true. So, people give the power to the government, and the government protects the people. So, that right there is question number 7. All right, the Declaration of Independence, obviously we know what that is. It's written by T. Jeff, Thomas Jefferson, the man, the myth, the legend. It identifies many human rights that inform our laws today. All men are created equal. And then unalienable rights, which are called natural rights, which used to be what? Life, liberty, and property. But under the Declaration of Independence, it is life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. No more property. Just because you were born, you don't get land. You don't get to own things because you are born. And then the United States Constitution, obviously this is where we are today. So the basis of American law today is the supreme law of the land in which we live. It's created the judicial system, which is the court system, which allows us to interpret the law accordingly. And the Bill of Rights protects basic individual rights, and it limits government power, and again protects the people against the government. And that's pretty much where we are today. Those are the sources of our laws. It has really come to this place right here, which is the United States Constitution, which we still use today. Remember, it's flexible. Okay, it changes with society. Again, it hasn't changed in your lifetime. It's changed once in mine. So you can expect it to happen again at some point. All right, everybody. Thank you for your time. Hit me with that theme song, and let's get out of here.